What is love? Not the songs, not the movies, not the poems. The real thing. The feeling that makes your chest tighten when someone smiles at you. The thing that makes parents sacrifice everything for their children. The thing that makes loss hurt so deeply. The thing that makes loneliness feel almost physical. Love is strange, because if you look at life from a purely biological perspective, it shouldn't exist the way it does. Every living thing on Earth has one basic purpose: survive long enough to reproduce. That's it. A tree spreads its seeds, a fish lays eggs, an insect mates and dies. Life moves forward through replication, genes passing themselves into the future. That's the engine of evolution. And yet, humans became something different. Because we don't just reproduce, we attach, we bond, we care. Sometimes so deeply that we're willing to suffer for it. And that raises a question. Why? Why would evolution, a blind and indifferent process, create something as powerful as love? To understand that, we have to go back. Long before humans, long before civilization, long before language, for most life on Earth, reproduction was simple. Find a mate, reproduce, move on. No bond required. Many animals still live this way. But mammals changed the rules. Mammals made a different trade. Instead of laying eggs and walking away, they carried life inside them. And when that life was born, it was vulnerable, completely dependent. That changed everything. Because survival no longer ended at birth. It began there. A baby deer can walk within hours. A human baby can barely hold up its own head. For years, human children need protection, teaching, and care. That is an enormous investment, and evolution had to solve that problem. The solution was attachment. What we now call love may have started as something much simpler: the instinct to stay, to protect, to nurture, deep in the brain. Evolution built systems to make that possible. Chemicals like oxytocin, released during childbirth, during touch, during trust, during closeness. It strengthens bonds. It makes connection feel good, not by accident, but because connected families survived better than isolated individuals. And humans took this further than almost any species. Because human children don't just need months of care, they need years, sometimes decades. No parent in the ancient world could do that alone. So love expanded, first between parent and child, then between partners, then between siblings, then families, then entire communities. Love became bigger than reproduction. It became the glue that held human groups together. And that mattered, because for early humans, being alone was dangerous. A lone human in the wild was vulnerable. But a bonded group could hunt together, protect each other, raise children together. Love wasn't just emotional, it was survival. And traces of that still live inside you. That's why rejection hurts so much. Scientists have found that social rejection activates some of the same brain regions as physical pain. Because deep down, your brain still treats disconnection like danger. But here's where it gets strange. If love were only about survival, why does it go so far beyond survival? Why do parents care for children who may never have children of their own? Why do people stay beside hospital beds for weeks? Why do we grieve so deeply? Why do we love, even when there's nothing to gain? Biology can explain where love began, but maybe not what it became. Because humans became conscious. We became aware of time, aware of death, aware that every person we love will one day disappear. And that changed love forever. Because now love is not just instinct, it's meaning. To love someone is to say, your existence matters to me. Not because you help me survive, not because you benefit me, but because you are you. And that may be one of the most extraordinary things humans ever evolved. In a universe where everything eventually fades, love is the act of caring anyway, knowing it can hurt, knowing it can end and choosing it anyway. That's what makes family so powerful. Family is usually the first place we ever encounter love. Before language, before memory, before understanding. Someone held you, fed you, protected you, loved you, before you earned it. And that shaped you. Long before you understood love, love was already shaping your brain, your emotions, and your idea of safety. And maybe that's the strangest part. Love feels personal, but it's older than you, older than your parents, older than humanity itself. It began as a simple survival strategy. Stay close, protect each other, raise the young. But over millions of years, it became something much larger, something capable of sacrifice, of loyalty, of grief, of friendship, of family, of staying. So what is love? Biologically, it's attachment. Evolutionarily, it's cooperation. Psychologically, it's connection. But humanly, love is the choice to care, to keep caring, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when there's no reward. And maybe that's why it matters so much, because in the end, long after everything else fades, the people you loved and the people who loved you may be the closest thing to meaning this life ever gives.